Is there a training course where I can learn about accessibility and universal design?
Christine, you've given me a great opportunity to plug the training class that I'm offering. One's in session right now, a 5-week session, this particular interface. I'm providing training, what the standards are, how one might bring their materials that they would like to bring up to standard, and how to create new materials with universal design concepts that meet um, federal guidelines and Americans with Disabilities Act guidelines in new materials. So yes, we have a course that will be offered online and in seated format so that instructors can learn all they need to know to create these accessible courses and learning object modules.
If I'm not at Wake Tech, is there somewhere that I can still access that material?
Yes, these modules will be made available independently, and also one could collect all the modules that are within the course through the North Carolina Learning Object Repository, which is available to all the community colleges. And putting this material in the LOR is something that is in progress right as we speak.
Is there a specified timeline when all of this should be completed?
Christine, we're trying to move forward from where we are right now. Since we now have the tools in place to discern what is required to make our content accessible, we are setting up guidelines to instructors that materials made from this point forward will need to meet the standards as mandated by federal law. And North Carolina is one of 7 states that has the strictest guidelines in place that do fall under the law, although they've yet to be challenged. We hope to be proactive rather than reactive. In the past, we've crossed the bridges when we've come to it. When someone has had a disabled student, they've scrambled to get their content in order so that that student and that particular disability can access as much material as possible. With this new proactive mindset that we're embracing with universal design, that won't be necessary anymore because we'll know that we've prepared content in a format that will be available to the most people and accessible to the most students possible, hopefully everyone.
Okay, very good. So what is the easiest way for me to get started with this?
Well, the easiest way to do this is when we share the pie with our fellow instructors, our colleagues, and we evaluate course-wise strengths and weaknesses in what the instructors present and their presenting styles. For example, we may have an extremely engaging instructor who isn't very computer savvy, and so we know that we need to get that instructor's presentation on a particular topic into the online course, which that instructor may not teach an online course, although we will have a Blackboard element. And perhaps with the help of our accessibility opportunities, we can help that instructor create a synchronous presentation captioned with audio so that it may be available to not only the most students possible, but to other instructors through the LOR when it's treated as a learning object, so that each instructor can spend more time working through their courses and trying to really contemplate how they want to get their points across, utilizing shared objects, utilizing shared materials, so that each instructor, again using the pie analogy, can use a piece of the pie rather than each instructor making the whole pie solely. So hopefully our goal is to make this universal design, accessibility, guideline embracing incorporation as easy as possible. And collaboration is definitely the ticket for that.
As a faculty member, why should I do this? Will I be compensated?
Oh, why, yes, Christine. You will be compensated in knowing that the content that you are providing is uh, meeting the needs of your students, thusly making you a better teacher. When we collaborate, when we share, when we integrate the concepts of universal design for all students, and when we share materials and resources that have that uniform goal in mind, collectively as an institution, we achieve better results. Individually as instructors, we see the benefit across the board amongst our students when we provide this content in multiple forms. Statistically, it's proven that all students do better. So on that alone, yes, there are multiple benefits, not only for the students, but also for the instructors and the institution. As we create modules using the concepts of universal design, we have a product that has longevity that can be utilized in multiple ways by multiple people. Instructors aren't required to reinvent the wheel every time the standards get a little tougher or every time a textbook changes, because they find materials out there that they confidently can use within this course. This is a best practices scenario from a teaching standpoint. It is something that makes the instructor a better instructor because they can do that. And lastly, but far from least important, it's just the right thing to do. I look forward to instructors contacting me with their questions, their needs, and even their concerns as we move forward with these concepts of accessibility and universal design. I'm really excited about what's out there, and I am constantly looking for ways to not make the instructor's job harder, but to make the instructor's job easier and the tools easier to use, that so that the instructor is able to spend more time on their subject matter, which will also improve the quality of education online and otherwise right here at Wake Tech.
Thank you, Suzanne, for enlightening me on this topic. I look forward to taking your class on accessibility and being able to apply these universal design standards to my classes.
Thank you, Christine, for this opportunity to share what has become my passion, to introduce it to our viewers today, and hopefully to see a lot of them both online and in the seated class environment as we move forward in a world of universal design and content that's accessible for all.